The DAX syntax is of course not something that looks equal in every single aspect I will show you here right now. So I just want to give you some core rules by hand to make sure you can write your own DAX formulas as easy as possible. A DAX formula could be something like the total population here. No big surprise, this is the formula name, so the name of this DAX formula you want to write. And you can see that I used capital letters here and a space between these two words in our case. This is not required, these are just some rules, some guidance you should follow to make it easier also for other people to work with your DAX formulas. After that we have an equal sign and now we have to define our formula. And as written above, these are just some core rules. Because we have multiple formulas, you can create very big and complex formulas in DAX actually, and this is just a basic example. So be aware of the fact that this can become a lot more complex. We are just getting started here. And to get started, we could use something like this here. Sum. Now, what is sum? Well, sum is a DAX function. With concatenate, we used a function already, and a function, in this case sum, allows you to add data. In this case, it allows you to add data from the fields in a specific column. Important, each function comes with parentheses. You can see it right here, you have opening and closing parentheses, and inside the parentheses you then have the, information the function should interact with, or where the function should be applied to. This could be, for example, this here, fact population. This refers to our course project now. Here we wrote it different though, but fact population here would be a so-called table reference. So we tell the function to go to a specific table, fact population in this case, and do something. The do something is missing at the moment. As you can see here, I again took capital letters between the different words, so fact and population, and I didn't use any space. In the course project, we don't follow this guidance at the moment. We can of course change this in the future, but again, this is a recommendation, not something you have to do, but you have to be aware of the fact that if you leave a space between these two words, so between fact population here, single quotes would be required around this table reference. Therefore, recommendation here would be to don't use any space between different words in your table names. Well, this is the table reference, but we don't work with tables. We of course want to work with columns or fields and the data stored in that field. This is the last step here. Here, population count could be a field name. We don't have that field name at the moment in our project, but this could just be the actual population data, so to say. And whenever you refer to a column, you have to add the square brackets here. As I said, this is now our column reference. We have these square brackets and we again use capital letters and no space, so the same logic we saw for the table reference. One difference though, no matter if you have a space between the words or not, square brackets are always required. So this is the core DAX syntax. Some core rules you should keep in mind when it comes to naming a DAX formula, when it comes to working with functions, and when it comes to referring to tables or columns. Now we know how to access information stored in our data model with DAX, but which data types can we actually interact with in DAX?